road. No dark sarcasm.
Now, why are y'all standing? You take it seriously. Answer truthfully. Okay? There are certain classrooms that, even though not all students are passing, they still have a high energy level. They're still willing to learn, but yet there are other classes that have just given up.
I haven't done anything the whole year, to be honest.
Education.
Students spend a majority of their time every week in school and spend hours at home studying. Even after all this, if someone were to ask you if you're efficiently learning the material you're supposed to learn, would you say yes? According to Florida statistics, only 59% of Florida students passed the newly released Algebra 1 exam in 2011. Although the passing rate was slightly higher than the 55% predicted, it was still calculated that over 66,000 students would still have to retake the test in order to earn the credit to graduate. In order to accommodate for the new standards, teachers were given new pacing guides that may have resulted in students being unable to catch up. So the question is, are teachers sufficiently providing their students the preparation needed in order to pass these new tests? Some might say that the motivation of the student could either lift them up or weigh them down. When the Algebra EOC was first released, was the passing rates a result of the teachers struggling to adjust to new lesson plans, or any of the students' lack of motivation? The relationship between student and teacher is definitely a major component in the passing rates and educational success in students. So we set out to find if students really believe they're learning in school, and if they're ready to tackle the new standardized tests they have this year.
I'm nervous because I haven't done anything the whole year, to be honest, and I just slacked up the whole year. But she did give us this little website you can go to that helps you from the beginning of the year to the end. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing that and see if that could help me out a little bit. Before I moved here to Florida, we had tests about math and stuff in New York, and I did good over there. But here, I guess I'm slacking off more, and I haven't done good on the EOCs.
I am not confident that my students will pass the end of the year exam.
I'm a little bit nervous, thinking since it's a brand new test, but the good thing is I have a good teacher, and as long as I study, I'll pass it. I'm confident with that.
I am confident that they will try their best during the EOC exam. Now, whether or not they will all pass, I really can't take a guess at that, especially since we have the new FSA exam coming around the corner. I really can't say. Well, this year with the new FSA, we have not just multiple choice and gridded response, fill-in response. We have everything from drag and drops, select all that apply, short responses, the type of questions that students are not accustomed to answering, or the format in which the answers need to be shown. So that's going to be quite a predicament. Even though they might know how to answer the question, they might have difficulty plugging in the answers into the question. Students are quite hesitant with the new format. So all we can do is hope that they do well.
The end of course exam is given in the first half of the fourth 9 weeks, and the EOC is testing material up until the end of the year. So there's no way to cover this pacing guide in 3 9 weeks, and they're taking their tests right after the third 9 weeks ends.
When we first started working on this project, we had to first decide how we were going to collect information about students and their perception of personal growth and learning inside the classroom. Ultimately, we decided on a questionnaire consisting of 9 questions on a scale of A through E, the former being never and the latter representing always. These 9 questions were then scored on the severity of students' answers to produce our results in 5 separate categories, ranging from not engaged to highly engaged.
And if you guys have any questions, just ask me.
And go ahead and do it now. Go.
This first chart that you'll see in our study measures students' engagement in class from a range of highly engaged students to not engaged students. This chart was the original focus of our research. As you can see, there were no students who scored high and not engaged. More than half of the students are highly engaged, measuring at 54%. Students in the somewhat and barely engaged categories tied for 8%.
I feel engaged and encouraged to learn when I enter the classroom, and I put E always because in her classroom we learn a lot. She teaches us, we goof around sometimes, but that's just so that we don't get bored. And the stuff that she gives us, the extra practice and everything, it really helps us out.
I think that they think they're learning, but I don't think that they're learning as much as they think they are. Again, because we have a good time in class, they enjoy to come here. So I think they're just having fun and they don't notice how much they're learning.
Do they think that they're learning? Yes. Even sometimes when it's just a little thing that they might have captured at that moment, they do appreciate whatever it is that we do for them. Some students learn faster and more than others, but yes, I think that they do think that they're learning.
The next pie chart assesses students' preferred learning styles. The students could have chosen from visually, which means that students can watch videos or a demonstration of how something works, audibly, hearing an explanation of how something works, or interactively, which are students who like to have an active part in their learning experience. The students in the study chose mostly interactive learning, which totaled to a 57%. There were also many visual learners who averaged out to a 38%. We only had a few audible learners at 5%. Our third pie chart assesses preferred class activities. The students could have chosen from silent individual classwork, group work, lecture-style teaching, or hands-on application activities. Almost half of the surveyed students prefer group activities. Lectures and hands-on activities are almost even at 22% and 23%. Surprisingly, there were still students who prefer silently completing classwork.
I try to employ many different techniques. For example, I have classroom participation where the students come up to the board and use the Promethean board. I have the dry erase boards. I also have students sitting in groups and trying to participate as much as they can.
Circle the letter that corresponds with your favorite class activities. Most kids would rather do group work just to be with friends and just fool around, but on hands-on, it's better because you're actually learning the material and all that stuff, and the teacher's actually helping you while you're doing it.
The way I run my lesson is a little bit old school. I like to do a lesson in the beginning, make sure everybody understands. I'm very step by step. Then I have the kids do a few questions and I'm around for any help that they might need. And I like to do it in a fun environment where they don't feel like they're learning and they're not bored.
I don't really know because I haven't done anything in the class this whole year.
Sometimes their feedback in class is quite positive, but then they'll turn around and of course tell their friends that they hate the class. So I really would hope that they're actually learning something in class and actually leave here feeling confident in themselves, whether or not they failed.
Was that good, kind of, sort of?
Cool, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, we're trying to record something here. Thank you.